stand over here real quick. All right, so thank you all for being here. So imagine yourself as a first-time college student, taking you back to a place that you probably haven't been in a while. And so thinking about yourself as a first-time college student, you've been admitted to the university of your choice. This is how you feel, right? Excited, pumped up, high fives, Facebook posts. I got admitted, hugs all around from family. You feel good, right? You feel good about that. This is what we're providing for our students up front. And so I want you to think about this. This is reality. As soon as I'm admitted, paid my confirmation, oh, what did I just do, right? So this is the feeling that a lot of our students have when they get here is, what am I doing? How am I going to interact with this? So imagine that I ask you this question, what are your talents? Your response would be this, right? I don't know. I got more questions about that. What does that look like? And so when we talk about talents, we talk about students entering our campus, there's a lot happening, right? And so I did this already. I already did this on my personal statement. I already talked about who I am. Why do I have to do this again? You're asking me to talk about something. I don't want to talk about me. Why? So be recognizing that. Like, students don't always want to talk about themselves. And think about the tools that we're providing for them, whether that's academic advising, whether that's career development, whether that's in the academic areas, office hours. Like, all of these tools are important for our students to really engage in, right? And so it's really important for us to support them, right? It's important for us to support them in those avenues, in those tools that they're trying to get to, those tools that we're providing for them, helping them understand why these tools are very important and supporting them, as this says. And so Strengths Quest falls into one of those tools. It's a way for students to inherently think about, through a testing process or assessment process, answering questions with their gut. What are my top five what are my top five strengths that are coming out of this gut check of questions that I'm answering? What are my top five? So thinking about, am I an organizer? Am I a arranger? Am I a woo? That's a really good favorite one. Do I woo over people? Am I exciting? And so we think about strengths, and we want students to really create their experiences, right? We want them to experience this campus as a place that they belong to, as a place that they can bring their family to. And we think about experiences, we think about study abroad, right? So we think about them engaging in people from other countries, or not necessarily going to the other country, but being on a campus like this, where we have students coming from multiple places. That's something that they need, right? And so that goes back to those tools that I was talking about. And so thinking about the experiences, we want our students to be assets, right? We want them to feel like they belong here and they have value. Everything that they're coming to on this campus is valuable for them, for their families, for their communities that they're coming from. It's important for us to really help them think through that and understand what their assets are, and think about what their talents are. How do their talents play into themselves being on this campus? What does that look like? How are we helping them explain what their talents are? And then when you think about talents, you think about them thriving, right? They're thriving. They're engaged. They're in the classroom. They're raising their hand. They're talking. They're out in the community. They're doing service and leadership. You know, they're engaged. They're involved in all of these things. So helping them thrive. What does this promote? Knowledge and strength of their mind, right? So making sure that our students here feel like they're strong in the classroom, outside the classroom, mentally when they go back to talk to their families about their experience here. And that leads to success, right? Because that's ultimately what we want. We want our students to be successful in their time here, using all the tools that we've given to them and tools that they created for themselves, right? And what does success look like to our students? Employment, right? So that goes back to that collaboration of working with career development and helping our students understand why it's important, why you're here. You want to earn money, right? You want to get a better job, you want a different career. And so success leads to providing access, giving our students seats at the table. It's important for them to be there. And that's where that equity comes into play. Really making sure that our students are at the table. And what do seats look like? Seats are support, experience, asset, talent to thrive, and strength to success. Thank you. Yes.
So thank you. This is really helpful to provide some context and sort of the thinking and philosophy around why Strength Quest is being used. I was curious about how it's been received by students. I mean, assuming that there's some kind of assessment built into it, and some feedback from students about what they think it's a tool, if they find it useful, if it helps orient them to campus and help shape their time here at Tacoma.
Yeah. Oh, great question. So just the feedback that we've received from students has been very positive in many ways. So one way is just the recognition that there's a name to these things that I'm already doing. And so it's really key for them to, and also recognizing that, yes, there are top 5, but also I have many more strengths outside of these top 5. So helping our students understand that point. So it's been very positive from that standpoint. Also in terms of how do I apply this? So when students see their top 5 strengths, they can print out kind of actionized items. And so a lot of our students have done that and really use those actionized things in the classroom, outside of the classroom. And so we're in the process of kind of doing this reinforcement of, okay, what are they doing for our students? And so just your initial question about kind of that assessment and feedback. Numbers-wise, I couldn't really tell you, but just in general, the feedback from our students has been very positive in that this is the first time that we're doing this in collaboration with academic advising and career development, because it's already been happening through academic advising, but in terms of the collaboration piece, it hasn't been. And so our students have really felt successful in really detailing what strengths they have. Yes, sir.
Are all students doing it, or is it just the first year cohort or first time in college cohort, or what cohort of students?
Yeah, so just the first time in college students at Jumpstart to Success in the summer is when they're taking the Strengths Quest assessment. Yeah. So that's the population that we're working with currently.
For the last one more question.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you have sort of a demographic breakdown of that Jumpstart to Success population? So, ethnic groups, any sort of class background information?
No. Simple answer. No. We know who attended, but we haven't dove into those specific things yet.
We have time for one more.
One more?
So it's not all first-time in college students, it's only Jumpstart students. And Jumpstart isn't required, but it's open to all? Is that right, or that's a question?
So Jumpstart
Phrase it that way.
Okay. So because our first time in college students, Jumpstart is more of a requirement for our first time in college students. Because there's a melt of information that they're missing. Right? So if they don't attend Jumpstart, where they can actually register for their classes, they won't be able to do that until afterward. So where they have to set up a one-on-one they need to be there.
So more questions, if you want to email Stephon, we put up his email address.
That's me.
And let's thank him for sharing his work.